Do you remember when you were the tech expert in your family? Well, not anymore. Today, your kids are teaching you all about using AI. And it feels like the world up and changed overnight. And nobody even bothered to tell us about it. But here's the thing. This isn't about us trying to keep up with the latest tech gadgets. This goes so much deeper than that. This goes deeper than most people even realize. Well, today I'll be revealing the three unspoken fears that Generation X has about artificial intelligence. It fears that feel subtle yet threatening because concealed inside them, well, it just might be the one thing that AI will never understand. And that's what it is that makes us human. Now, let me share a quick story with you that kind of relates to this subject. My nephew came down and he was going to stay with me a few weeks. So I came downstairs and went into the kitchen, and he was at the kitchen table working on a school project on his laptop. And I looked at him and I could tell that he was struggling. He something he didn't understand. I'm not quite sure what it was. But whatever it was, he was having a problem with it. I was about to offer my expertise in many fields to help him, to give him a push in the right direction. He must have saw that look on my face because before I could ever get to him, he whips out his smartphone and he pulls up some AI assisted app. And of course, in a matter of seconds, whatever problem he was having, it was solved. And I must have had a look on my face because I was in my feelings a little. I was accustomed to being the wisdom in the house and helping him out. And he looks at me with this look on his face like, "What, Unk? It's so much faster this way." I guess that was everything that I help him with. It comes with a story. But I can honestly say, though, that was the first time that I felt that little sting of possibly becoming obsolete. And that little voice in the back of my head saying, "Well, Unc, they don't need your wisdom anymore. They now have AI." And that was a real wake up call. And I just want to know, is it just me, or have any of you felt that way? It's sort of like the digital tide out there is rising faster than we can swim. And I get it, I understand. We're in the middle of the biggest technological shift in the history of this world. And yet we can still all remember a time before there was even internet. Stop and think about this for a minute, people. We taught our parents how to use email. We remembered dial up modems on computers. I can remember the modems on computers. If somebody else got on the phone in the house, you lost your connection. And now, fast forward, and it doesn't even seem like that long ago, our kids are teaching us all about how to use artificial intelligence. And it's just mind blowing to me. I guess it's true what they say. The more things change, well, the more they stay the same. But that's not really what we're here to talk about, is it? We're here to talk about this fear that Generation X has of AI. Oh, It's so called fear. I'm sorry, because it's real. It's real. But I can assure you though, it's not about us being stubborn or reluctant to change. This is something that goes a lot deeper than most people realize. This is about fear, people. And these fears in particular, well, they hit right at the core of who we are as Generation X. And I don't know why these aren't discussed more. as I know a lot of people have them. Maybe it's one of those quiet secrets. But anyway, let's get on with it. Here are those fears that we really don't like to talk about. Firstly, there's this fear of becoming irrelevant. Now, we as Generation X, we defined ourselves by being resourceful and on our problem solving abilities. Well, now that AI does everything faster and better and cheaper, you come to realize that the world isn't checking for our wisdom anymore the way it used to. So where does that leave us? And who are we now? And secondly, there's the fear of being discarded. No one likes to be discarded. Now, we grew up believing that experience mattered. You put in your 10,000 hours to master your profession or chosen craft, and that's the way it was. You got married and you had a family, you lived the American dream, you retired, you got your pension. And well, unfortunately, people, now with AI being able to do in seconds, mere seconds, what it took us years to become masters at. And I mean, that's from accounting to programming to coding to copywriting. And it's not even close, people. AI is very good at what it does. So the very skills that once made us very valuable, well, they don't seem to matter all that much anymore. And thirdly, there's the stark realization that we are the last truly human generation. We can remember a time when real eye contact, well, that meant something. And a man's word or even a handshake, well, that was as good as gold. We can also remember when creativity belonged exclusively to the human race. Well, not today, people. AI can write poems and music, and hell, I think it even paints. Saddest part is, though, that most people, well, they don't even care that the content it creates is nowhere, not even close, as good as human created content. They just want it fast and they want it cheap. You know, I can remember when artists created content. It was a form of self-expression. It wasn't really created for mass consumption, and less music, of course. But now, even creativity has become automated. I worry that people will no longer take value in human expression. So no, it's not just about a fear or apprehension of new technologies, people. It's more about us slowly losing the world that we once knew. Because maybe our discomfort isn't a weakness after all. Maybe it's our hidden strength. Because that uneasiness that we have surrounding AI, well, it forces us to ask those tough questions about it. Like, what about ethics? And what about privacy? And what about our values? You see, we come from a time when connection meant face to face, not staring blindly into those little screens. But we've also had to learn and adapt to this new digital world. So, no, we're not afraid of AI, not at all. We're just cautious. And there's a big difference, people, between caution and fear. So, now what? Well, we step into the role that we were born to play, a role I like to refer to as the bridge generation. Well, people see, we weren't born into this whole tech world, but we've lived long enough in it to understand it from both sides. And we're not here to fight with AI or to surrender to its will either. We're here to simply humanize it, to make sure that it remembers where it came from and who it was created to serve. And we lead with our values. We ask, what do we choose to protect? And what do we decide to pass on? Every generation faces this type of a reckoning. And humanity doesn't vanish, it simply transforms. And the ones who are able to thrive are those who shape change around a society's deepest values and priorities. So let me ask you this, Circle. What does being human mean to you, especially right now in this AI driven world? Drop your thoughts down in the comments and tell me how you're navigating this monumental shift. Because one thing's for sure, the rise of AI might be inevitable, but how we choose to integrate it into our lives, well, that's still very much our choice. Because with this AI driven world, still will never be able to produce is a soul that questions and a heart that remembers and a mind that cares more about meaning than speed. You see, we're not just users of AI, people. We're its conscious, its wisdom, and its heart. And maybe that in itself is a sign that we're still connected to something that AI will never be able to replicate. And that, people, is our humanity, our beautiful, messy, and sometimes imperfect humanity. And people, that's what makes us irreplaceable. And I appreciate you joining me here today. And I know I can get on one sometimes. So thanks again for listening. And as always, stay true to yourself, stay courageous, stay informed. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye, everybody.